The political analysis you were looking for, your efforts, actually revealed a bunch of podcasts that directly talk about Trump and his current situation.
Right.
So in a way, you kind of stumbled upon a gold mine of relevant information while searching for something else.
Exactly. Okay, so let's look at some of these. We have MSNBC offering Trumpland with Alex Wagner. And like in a recent episode, they analyzed how Trump's rhetoric on immigration is impacting certain communities. They also have Main Justice, which is more focused on legal analysis. For example, a recent discussion was all about the legal ramifications of executive orders that target particular sectors.
Yeah, what's interesting about both of those is that they look at policy impacts and legal perspectives,
Yeah.
giving you different angles on the same issues.
Absolutely. And then we also have NPR providing some coverage as well. Trump's terms focuses specifically on his presidency. They had an episode recently where they talked about what would happen if he tried for a third term.
Wow.
Then there's the NPR Politics podcast, which is a broader look at politics, but they do often talk about Trump. Recently, they were discussing his potential impact on Social Security and the VA.
In NPR, it seems like they really focus on reporting the facts and giving you context, looking at the long-term effects of what's happening in politics.
For sure. Now, moving on to podcasts that have a more obvious political slant, we have Pod Save America with commentary from a progressive viewpoint. Recently, they were talking about strategies for Democrats. And then the Bulwark podcast comes from a never Trump conservative perspective. Recently, they analyzed what Trump did concerning the Smithsonian.
It's good to know about those ones, especially because they're very opinionated. You have
Okay.
to keep in mind their perspective when you're listening.
Absolutely. On the more right-leaning side of things, we have The Ben Shapiro Show, which recently offered some conservative analysis of Trump's State of the Union pledge. Then there's the Glenn Beck program, which talked about the conservative view on how the government spends money. The Tucker Carlson podcast recently had an interview where they talked about the Israel-Hamas situation from a global negotiator's point of view.
Okay.
And then the Megyn Kelly Show has also been covering the possibility of Trump running for a third term.
So that's a huge range right there. You have access to people's thoughts and analyses from all over the political spectrum.
Exactly. And last but not least, Verdict with Ted Cruz gives you this sort of inside look at legal and political stuff from someone who's actually been there. They recently discussed potential tariffs on imported cars.
Interesting.
So what really stands out here is the sheer volume and variety of these informed discussions that are happening around us right now.
Yeah, and I think the biggest takeaway for you is that even though deep research English wasn't what you were looking for, your research uncovered a whole bunch of resources that actually do address your interest as Donald Trump's current situation. What this means is that you now have a wide array of podcasts to listen to, offering legal insights, policy analysis, and a diverse range of political viewpoints.
Yeah, and when you think about it, all these podcasts dedicated to analyzing Trump and what he does, what does that tell us about how much attention a single political figure can get in today's media? It's a pretty important question to think about as you explore these resources more.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us today for the deep dive.
Of course.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.